Welcome to Slash Forward. In this episode, we're going to go back and take a look at the pinnacle of zomcoms with the 2004 film Shaun of the Dead. Let's get to it. We open on Shaun having a chat with his girlfriend Liz about his intrusive flatmate Ed. He tries to convince Liz and her friends Diane and David that Ed's a good guy, just misunderstood.
Can I get any of you cunts a drink?
See? He's offering to buy drinks. We learn that Shaun is stuck in a rut, desiring to spend all of his time at the Winchester, his local pub, but Liz is looking for some variety in her life. So Shaun tries to smooth things over by making a flaccid promise to get reservations to a restaurant the next night, and then he heads home. The next morning, Shaun gets ready for work, and we learn there's a tension at home as well, as his other flatmate Pete has matured into a responsible adult right in front of their eyes, and doesn't appreciate Ed's lack of contribution to the household. They have a quick talk, Ed conveys his understanding by ripping ass, and Shaun heads out. On his way to work, we see some subtle clues of an unfolding drama in the broader world, but stay tunneled in on Shaun's narrow perspective. At work, Shaun is visited by his stepdad Philip, who reminds him of the bi-monthly visit with his mum coming up. He grabs some flowers in preparation and heads home, finding the bus ride somewhat more petulant than normal. He runs across his ex Yvonne on the way home and they catch up. When she inquires about Liz, he realizes that in juggling 2 to 3 responsibilities that day, he's completely forgotten to get a reservation. He tries, but is unable to secure a table, having missed the last available by a few minutes, which is a real kick in the bullocks. He breaks the sad news to Liz, but has a consolation prize all lined up, a visit to the Winchester, which she rejects outright. He tries to smooth things over, but finds David actively working against him, apparently wanting both Diane and Liz all to himself, and Liz officially breaks up with him. He goes to the Winchester to drown his sorrows, but the environment is a bit too sad, so they take the party home, where it's crashed by Pete, trying to get some sleep and feeling under the weather after being nibbled upon by a pestiferous crackhead on his way home from work. In the light of the hard truths Pete lays on him, Shaun leaves a message for his future self, waking up and finding the determination to improve his life. First stop, nibbles from the C-store. Along the way, there are ample indications of drastic environmental changes overnight, but Shaun is too focused on his objective to take notice. He's not home for long before they become distracted by a girl in the garden. She's presumed drunk and mildly randy. When she comes on too strong, Shaun gives her a firm shove, with a butt-clenching oops as the result. Their manslaughter charge is quickly downgraded, though, when she slowly pulls herself back up. They run inside and find all the emergency numbers engaged, and the news informs them the only way to remedy the situation is to remove the head or destroy the brain. Ed gets a bit of the old bloodlust, so they go out to test a few small, lightweight items. When these obviously fail, Shaun busts into the locked shed for some more serious implements of destruction. And when they put their shoulders into it, they find the skulls have a satisfying way of giving in, like a couple of overripe cassava melons. Back inside, Shaun tries to call Liz, but accidentally picks up a call from his mom and finds out Philip's been bit. They develop a plan that involves picking up Barbara, killing Philip, getting Liz, and holing up at the Winchester. However, things don't go to plan almost immediately when they arrive and find Barbara unwilling to leave, and Philip not yet turned. Now forced to bring him along, they run out to find Ed seen to ensuring that they have to take the jag. And they have to move quickly, because some zombies shamble in, and one of them peels a little flapjack off Philip's neck. At Liz's, he finds similar difficulty, first forced to climb up the facade, finding them equally unwilling to leave, and in greater numbers than the plan considered. He eventually convinces them, and as they pass through the courtyard, they manage to get their slaughter legs beneath them. They eventually cram into the car and leave. Along the way, Philip has a touching heart-to-heart with Shaun about fatherhood before tagging out, but he's not dead for long, forcing them to ditch the car. They slowly walk along the back alleys, ignoring the new horrors that now represent daily life, eventually crossing paths with Yvonne and her band of merry survivalists. Yvonne is surprised by their plan, but maintains her British courtesy as they each continue on. They're briefly waylaid when Barbara investigates what she believes to be an old friend's house, and Shaun is left mostly on his own to take care of it. They find the coast is far from clear, so Diane leads them through some acting warm-ups as they workshop some ideas. They shamble across the expanse but can't get in, and Shaun finds an inopportune time to gather up the courage to set Ed straight, blowing their cover. So David breaks the window and Shaun leads the horde around the back so the others can get in. Upon his return, they begin to realize they can't sit around in the dark with nibbles and pig snacks forever. When the streetlights come on, they recognize their current situation is fuse-related. So Shaun goes to flip the breakers and discovers that he didn't do as good of a job slipping the horde as he thought. When the lights come back on, so does the jukebox, alerting the zombies outside to their presence. The barkeep also reveals himself and they pummel him to the beat of a Queen song, giving up a little power in exchange for synchronicity. A risky venture. But they manage to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Then they use the power of teamwork to manage their 1 rifle and 29 shells. After a somewhat successful first round, they fortify their base, as Shaun and the others discover Barbara was bit back in the garden. But she didn't tell anyone until now because she didn't want to be a bother. David, acting as a proper twat, sheds his pacifism and tries to make a pragmatic decision right in the middle of the emotional climax of their adventure. Things fall apart quickly when David is rebuffed, and finds himself so put off that he attempts to leave, venturing too close to the window and being feasted upon. Diane, distraught beyond reason, grabs a ham hock and runs out to to get her vengeance. Shaun pulls a bar trick straight out of cocktails, and Ed just barely makes it over before they head to the cellar. They decide to make a last stand, saying farewell to Ed and leaving him with the gun, then taking the loader to street level, right as the military rolls in to clean up, along with some renegade head-smashing enthusiasts. 6 months later, we find society back to normal, aside from the now burgeoning zombie slave market. Liz and Shaun are living happily together, and Ed is always available for casual gaming in the shed. And that was Shaun of the Dead, the absolute grandpappy of zombie comedies. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love for you to become a part of the channel by subscribing. Thanks for watching.